Alright, I think I'm live. I'm going to put that screen to sleep. Now, I apologize if you've tuned in because you think this is a Mr. Cropper video. This is actually just a painting and artistic fluff video. This is just nonsense. So, I happen to have all my paintings here in this room stacked up today. Because tomorrow I have to go to the airport and pick up my daughter, so the car has to be empty. So, I'm going to use this occasion to put all of my paintings on video just so I have something to come back and look at later. So you guys might not be interested in this unless you want to see a whole bunch of amateur paintings by a guy who just started painting last year. Most of them done with cheap acrylic on small canvases. So this is a new one. This is pretty standard. It's just a bunch of fields and a lake. The lake's a little bit too square. You have to excuse that. Oh, you know what? I do want to show you my very first painting, just so you can judge what, you know, if you think, God, these are awful, what is he doing? Then you'll have some idea. And this is also for my own benefit. Is this video for however long this video stays up. If YouTube doesn't delete my channel, which is liable to happen any second. So these cheap little panel things came. They're called a canvas panel, and they came with my first paint sets. Now, see, I did this. Look, notice none of the trees are touching. Now, it doesn't look too bad. It's not terrible. None of the trees are touching. You'll notice that there's some people down in the bottom right-hand corner on a pathway, which I learned you can't do that. You've got to put it in the center. The center of interest has, this boat's a little too far over here. It should be maybe up here or something. You can't hide things, you know. But the mountains are okay. It took me a couple weeks to go back and finish the mountains. But none of the trees are touching. All right, so that's a very early. It's my first painting. Now, a couple weeks after that, I was able to do this, which is cute. This mountain, the background mountain's not even as good as the other one. Oh, that's too loud. Now, this is when I was like, okay, I think I got this. So I thought, I'll just do a wreck. So that was just a wreck. And that's after. And then this one's pretty cute. And I've sold a couple of these. Just like a tree and something, you know. Sold them in the park. All right, so those are canvas panels, and that was from my first week or 2 or 3 weeks. You know, for my first week, and then I touched them up over time. So continuing from there, so I've showed you a pretty late one. This one has this fence over here on the left, and the fence, the foliage at the top is fun to do. It's in stark black, but the fence is a thing, you know, and it was haunting me. And it just kept getting closer and closer till I made that fence like this one. Bam. And the fence was all the way from the top to the bottom. No getting away from it. Now you're going to have to excuse me if I've done a couple of those. No vegetation in that one. That's got a little blue mark right there that's gotten on there somehow. Damn it. Got to remedy that. And this one, the vegetation got a little out of control, but the mountains back there are pretty fun. I should quiet them down a bit with a bit of over gray or something like that, because that's too dark, that one. But it's, you know, just for a little black and white canvas, it's fine. That vegetation could be a little better, but cute little canvas. I like the depth that I was getting into a ravine or something over there. All right, this is a meh. I don't know exactly what it's missing, but for one thing, this post needs to be taller. Always taller on the fence posts. Now, some of the local park. That's just a view in the local park. A view down the parking lot of the local park at a house up at the end. A bench at the local park with a pavilion behind it and a stone wall behind the bench. A wall at the local park looking at a footpath. Galaxies. Stars and galaxies. A rock at the local park, which has some little bronze thing on it. The guy donated something or other. He died in like 1969 or something. A park view of the footpath. Now this one needs a line of shadow going right here, and then it will be done. And I think then it might look okay. Right now it looks a little blah. Pretty blah. I just sold one of these tonight. This is a dark version, a nighttime version. I sold the daytime version. The daytime version, you could read what was on these little signs. It said sage time, rosemary. It was very, very cute little painting. This one's cute. If you look closely, you can see the outline of a building there in pencil that I've just never finished because I thought it was sufficient. The road's floating, but that's all right. That was one of my first compositions that it was what I thought of, what I wanted to do, it was my conception. And it took me a while to get the drawing down of the little Chinaman. There, he's behind a North American buffalo bison. I swear he is. Okay, done with very, very wet acrylic. I don't, a lot of people think that's really cool. It's like I almost hid it and never showed it to anybody. They're probably saying it's cool because they're like, that's garbage. Here's a violin. I just love it. This was the outline. I was going to paint more, but then I said, no, this big thing here, done. It's done. That's done. Nobody's bought it. That's all right. And my last violin, 3 violins. I'm going to do some trumpets soon because I know a guy who owns a cafe and he plays the trumpet and he wants some sort of trumpet paraphernalia to go in his restaurant. This is a standard tree trunk got way out of control there, and those mountains are leaning in, but it's a standard tree with some nonsense behind it composition. Local downtown area. The old downtown of a teeny tiny town. A cloud. Couple things about this. First of all, haven't done a lot of clouds, not great at clouds, a little scared of clouds. Notice my cloud work on the earlier stuff. There's that cloud, and then the beginning of my life, there's those clouds. I mean, holy moly. So clouds, not a big thing, but this is a try at clouds. It's all right. It's just like a 15-minute acrylic, just splish splash, bit of a cloud there, and it's okay for a 10 to 15-minute acrylic thing. Something could happen down here in the land, a little something. It's very, very dark. Something could happen down there. All right. This one has a matching canvas. Which has a couple little spots because I had to learn my lesson about having paintings displayed near my palette where I'm painting. So a couple little splots of blackish water have flown and landed there. Oh, dressed. And that'll have to be remedied. Very unfortunate. I learned my lesson, though. I no longer keep paintings near where I am painting. This up here should be billboard stuff. It should have a bunch of writing on it. And then this is a view underneath a bridge in a local downtown type area. More at the park, the pavilion, and a footpath going to the pavilion. Oh, I see. I was like, where is that? But it's reversed on the screen. I couldn't picture it. And there's the black fence reaching all the way to the top, like it's supposed to. This is a very early one. This is one of my very first paintings. I actually came back and put those two trees in 6 months after I finished the painting. And it was just too much. I couldn't handle it. So I went and put trees in there. And then these markings here are supposed to give something. I don't know what, but I was just panicking. And so now I'm just making a record of it. I just made the train too small, right? It's a cute train. It's a cute bridge, but it's too small. And so you have to learn that. You have to learn that there's certain size to stuff. Now this canvas is cute. That's a cute church. It's a cute view up at it. It's just sloppy. I did it in a hurry. And then after it, I was going to do a better, bigger version. It's just a cheap little canvas. But look at how shiny it is. What is that? Is that shiny, glossy paint that I used? Because that is so annoying. And I just need to make sure that that doesn't happen anymore. It's probably some cheap acrylic I used. And you're not supposed to use black. And I use black all the time. So there's a Tim Wilmot composition, which I've done a dozen of. Now this one is like my third painting or fourth or fifth. Is very, very early. And I was just trying to cover up the whole canvas. Now, I had no idea what was going on, so I used full-strength blue, because blue is the color of the sky. And I got it on, I think it's Prussian blue. I got it on there, and I went, oh, God, that is like very dark. So this is at nighttime. Not only is it night, it's a storm at night. So then I found a little boat that was just in the waves. The waves, I splashed around and making waves, and one of the little waves looked like a boat, so I outlined it in red. Stuck a lightning bolt in it. So that was early on. I was just trying to cover a canvas, just cover up the whole surface of the canvas and set it to the side and be done with it. Because at the beginning, it's very hard to do that. This is the perspectives, the perspective of the surrounding and the schoolhouse there are different. This perspective of the schoolhouse is from a photograph, and I drew it in, and then I just slopped the surrounding in around it, which was in very poor taste. I can't think how I would fix it now. I guess the schoolhouse would have to be set down here. Probably. Anyways, that's just an old abandoned schoolhouse in Utah, up the street from where I grew up. All right, this is just a cute little farm. I just wanted a tractor in a barn, which I ostensibly accomplished. There's a tractor there. There's a barn. There's some tires by the barn. It's cute. Just a cute little. It's, loud. The collars are full strength, strong. I really didn't know what was going on. This cute composition I got off of just looking around at things online, and someone had done a watercolor that is just very simple, just a tree with its shadow and some fields in the back. And I said, well, that's brilliant. So I've done it. And I went back and looked at that one since, and it's a little sloppier than I remember. One of the branches on the trees isn't quite right and stuff. So it just goes to show, sometimes when you see a piece of artwork that you think is amazing, sometimes it blows you away a little bit, and then later you go back and look at a little closer and you go, it's, you know, here's another of the tree. Maybe I should fill that trunk in darker. It seems to me the shadow's gotten too large there. And if we weren't finished, we had to have a color version. Now, could use a little more fill in up there, maybe. Yeah, I think so. I think it's too bright up at the top. But I sure like those fields in the back. They did okay. They're not great, but they did okay. There's a lot of detail there. A lot of hidden detail or unexpected detail. All right, now this one is a, oh, I can't remember his name. Some French painter. And I've done a few of this version, this scene. I'm trying to do a very, very tall one of it. But let's see, this quite green here, quite pale here. And then I went with virtually no color at all. And I quite like all of them. I don't know why people don't buy them. I love the composition. Whereas while I'm on those, I'll show you the tall one. Now that needs some dark browns added here and here, and then some really light yellows and something shiny up at the top dappled in to give it a story of light, and maybe some glinting white off of the house. So that's going to be a lot of fun when I get it done. I like that. I just love it. I just love that composition. That's one of my favorite, one of my new favorite compositions. Okay, now this is the guy I said he owns a place now. This is too dark, this pillar here. I'm going to go over it with a little lighter, a little gray, and then this sun above the door will stick out better. But, and that's, that window's sloppy. Gee, maybe I better just start this one over. That's pretty bad now that I see the window. See, I look at it like this and it's not too bad, but I look at it on camera and I can see how wonky it is. Wonder why it doesn't look so bad when I look at it this way. It's pretty bad. All right. Now, a couple of pathway with a stump in the foreground. Black version on white, white version on black. I think the white-based version turned out better. The black-based version, this one over here, it's okay. See those shadows in of the trees are just a bit weird. I'm really fond of the white one though. It came out okay. And the stump's better on this one here, I think. But that's a good way to get better at painting, or to know something, whatever, I don't know, just, to do two at once, to do two versions. A little teeny bridge in the distance of this footpath alongside of a lake. That's done from a photograph, a little place in Connecticut. Connecticut's full of beautiful, beautiful rolling green countryside. It says Chinese characters. That's funny when they say, what does it say? I say Chinese characters. And they say, I know, but what do the Chinese characters say? Chinese characters. Lavender. I had two of these. Somebody bought one. Come on, buy the matching set. It's tasteful. Local park. This pillar is a bit big on top, but it's an effective story about that little lamp up there. What do I want from the lamp? I want one more. I want one more thing here, don't I? Just one more line to do the edge. Okay. And the fence one, this one's got the fence being brave, like a brave soldier going right to the top, tying everything together, not being shy. There we are. Oh, the fence. Okay. Now, on a wood panel, this is the abandoned CPC factory outside New Haven, Connecticut, on the line going to Grand Central from New Haven. There you are. I haven't put the electric lines in. It's going to look more legit once I get those in. And the perspective on this building ended up being a little goofy. But, and I could tighten up the edge of the smokestack. Yeah, that one's being worked on, let's say. All right. Next. Not true. Those ones are not finished. Oh, here we go. Let's do these ones next. Some guy asked me to paint his dog. I said I don't do animal portraits, but I'll give it a try. And that came out okay. Tongue's a bit big. But if that's your only complaint from a third animal portrait, then that's all right. Just black and white, you know, simple and easy to do. I did a collar one, which will come up later, but it's not here. All right, I loved this rock. I loved the path going down here. This is the only painting I've done of it, but I'm going to do more because this is just a quick. It does no justice to the composition. It's a very neat composition. I will do more of it. This one, just a very quick sketch of a salt plant in Israel, desalinization plant in Israel. You could swear for the life of you that that's an old-fashioned slot machine there, right? Okay. Must be 30-story tall slot machine. Okay, what are we going to do with that? It needs a little bit more source of light in the sky, but if I never do put any more light in the sky and just leave it like that, then that's what it is. That's all right. Could be a little bit better with the waves down here in the front. Those are kind of sharp, jagged waves. They should be nice and round, but they're not. I should have turned when you need to do that, turn the canvas upside down. You can get a nice round movement like that. I didn't. I left it right side up. Painted it on very, very wet and came back and put the tree, splashy tree things there. I don't know why, but I like that. I like it. I like that. I don't love it. I like it. So, try it again. Little bit different, not the same thing, no color. Now, this is a candidate to be painted over. And some of my paintings, a lot of my paintings are painted on paintings that are painted over. Because what's 25 cents compared to $2 for a canvas or whatever, you know? This one is I just started by doing some mountains and they came out okay. And then I put some detail on that rock, put that tree down there. The tree really finishes it. But you'll see that bearded face over here. There's his eyebrow and his eye socket and a beard. Bearded face looking at, it's the only thing I can ever see now that I've seen it. I didn't plan that. It was just a mountain. And all right, now that is a yellow ochre background and then just regular stonework at the stonework spilling out a little bit right there. What the hell's going on? That's supposed to be recessed by the, yeah. Shouldn't tell you guys like that. That's just as it was. Just as it was supposed to be. This is Moosey Field, local baseball. That's where the baseball game happened, where they said, "You're welcome to come inside the gate." So I did come inside and set up in there, and then they said, "You got to move everything, hurry fast, everything." This is a copy, or it's just my impression of it's an impressionist type copy of an artist. Should put the name of the damn artist somewhere, huh? I swear there's a bit of drop a tree sap on some of these. That would be believable, huh? What's this? Oh, right. I've got a color version of something like this. That's just a, I don't know why I did that. I just liked the shapes of the village. Okay, here's my big sky attempt at clouds. This is very, very early. Very, very early, long time ago. Did this at the beginning of my painting career. Very early. All right. Now, stacks of paintings everywhere. That's not too good. That's just a local street. This is slated to be painted over and redone. There's nothing really great there. Sometimes you think a scene will be pretty good and you try it. You know what? Maybe if I made this house here louder to push that house back and give it some depth, that might do it. Okay, this one's not finished. It needs to be married up. It's 3 cars, and something needs to happen with the hood of this car. And I don't know if I will finish it. I had a lot of fun drawing those cars. I stood there at this car show and drew those. And pencil drawing looked pretty good, but then as I'm filling it in, I just can't do justice to it. So I don't know exactly what went wrong. I don't really know how to do a really detailed mechanical car drawing. So that's a first try, and I'll have to come back to it. You know, nature's an interesting thing. You just splash a bunch of color everywhere and then pick out this and that. But a car is a little different. All right, here's a repeat, the Tim Wilmot painting. Always with Tim Wilmot, the nice house, and over there's somebody walking a dog or something like that. A couple of people walking a dog. Shall I do this? Drying. Once in a while I do something like that. That's just ready to be painted on. And then people look and they go, oh, that's really cool. Okay, this took about 15 minutes. So I'm not taking a lot of credit for it, but it did give me an idea to do other drawings and paintings of gas stations. And this one is slated to be painted over. So it'll be turned into a black canvas and have a new life as a new painting. So it's good for me to make this record of these, because someday I'll think, what did that painting look like? I can't look at it anymore because I painted over it. And I can go back and watch a video of what a painting was like. Should I move these up? Holy moly. Yeah, that's a coffee table made out of paintings. Okay, haystack. Not a lot of detail in the background because I wanted to get down to doing the hay. And so I sacrificed detailed background, which ruins the painting. This one, the house needs to be glued to the tree. And the road down there is a bit wanting. Yeah, that house really wants to be glued to that tree. What the hell is going on there? I've got to glue those together there. Brooklyn Bridge at night. Bridge is actually supposed to be quite a bit bigger, and the reference photo was 4 times that big. And great big. But once I got that line done there, it was straight enough and looked good enough. I said, nope, that's going to be it. I'm stopping right there. Local park, stone wall. I need to lighten this footpath to tell a story of light coming through there. And I need to darken this up a little bit and marry up the stonework on that. Stonework's divorced. Stonework on this one looks pretty decent. Not up at the top. Up at the top's pretty rough. The whole thing's pretty rough. I'll tell you what. I decided after I did this one not to do stonework much. Not to paint so much more stonework. And every time I came to stonework after that, I would use, one of these, the style of stonework you saw in these earlier. Just a bunch of black dots. Just. Okay, Tim Wilmot painting. This one's very bright. Very bright and happy. Very, very bright green. And I like that because I like green. Green's my favorite color, and this really bright green that's like offensively bright. It's just what I like. Lime green, I think they call it. It's my favorite color. Now, see, these greens are okay. But lime green, now this is a copy or an echo of that other painting I did earlier, just a big tree in the middle. And not great. It's not great. It's just, it was refreshing to me, I think, when I found those paintings of everything interrupting a tree. All right, here's a failure. This one's destined to be covered over and repainted. Oh, this is the one. I dropped canvas on it, and look at that. Look at that. Popped right through. Now I think I can super glue that or something, right? But I don't know if it's worth the time. Yeah, there are ways to heal them, but on a canvas it doesn't matter. All right, I liked this as a park. I said, well, if I'm going to paint this scene in front of me, it's going to be green everywhere. And that is virtually what it ended up being, green from top to bottom and back and forth. Lots of green and a nice little pavilion over there with some people hanging out in the pavilion doing their thing. Just a very green with a strong afternoon sunlight in the background. And these rocks here are wanting a little bit. They're just sort of black bulk. Okay, this one will be okay once I strengthen it a little bit. I think it'll be pretty cute. I think I just need to put stronger white and strengthen it. It's just a little bit weak right now. Classic meaning I did a long time ago. I just had a blue canvas and I needed to do a copy of this haystack painting, so that's it. And it shouldn't be on blue. It's terrible. It was in poor taste. But I did it. There it is. I just had this extra blue canvas. So. And back then I didn't have a lot of canvases. I didn't understand. I didn't know what to do with them. So I'd buy some and then I'd agonize over what to do on them. Now I buy 10 or 20 and just paint on them. See, this is a painting I just did. I just wanted to because I saw a picture of a girl in a yellow canoe doing her thing, and I said, that's neat. Now, it didn't come out well. The arms are awful. Oh, God, her hair is terrible, and the background is bad, but overall, it's like a C- or something. It's not an F. Another Tim Wilmot, always with the Tim Wilmot. This one's pretty uneventful, huh? Why can't I marry? Why doesn't that ever get married? I did that in another one. Why can't I get that together? Okay, this is a local business, the local guys, Yahoo, I was painting across the street, and they come over and says, "Could you paint our place?" And so that's what I haven't yet gone back and showed them what I've done and asked if they want to buy them. So, who knows? Maybe they will. This didn't turn out that great. I mean, it's just cheap acrylic, and I did it pretty quick, you know. But it's okay. I mean, I got the fence. I got some nice little detail on the fence over there. And the building has some nice, like, character to it. I could make this mailbox pop out a little bit by putting a white shining light on the back side of it. That would help that come forward. Yeah, that needs to be outlined a bit in white. But this is going pretty good. It's done. I mean, it's not great. What happened down here was just as a wreck. That's all. No excuses. And they wanted a vision of it like this, just straight on. They wanted that fence in the front. And then there was this stuff over here, which is kind of detailed. They got blocked by the tree of this particular view, but this is the view they wanted, of sort of just looking at the front of it. And so I came around to the side and got, this is the stuff that was blocked by the tree. And I got some of the mechanical nonsense from the back of one of the tow trucks and put that in. And I think that a good painting like that would be a lot of fun, to do a good job of that. I mean, that's just a pen and wash watercolor, but to do a nice oil or acrylic version of that would be fun, I think. Okay, that's the little shop down the road. Let's see, we did those. That's right, we're doing these. Rockwell Park. I sold one of these. I did a couple of these one night and sold one. Is that backwards here? That reverses everything. So this, yeah, the writing there is backwards. Well, it's backwards to you guys, but on the screen that I'm looking at, it's forwards, and I thought, that's weird. Okay. This is my photograph and my composition, and we're going to see the original in just a minute here. But that's what I turned it into. I wanted to really focus on that rail and really get that rail. Now maybe I made a little too strong with it. Maybe it could be reduced in size a little bit. But I don't know. I sure like it. It's pretty good there. And I'll leave that out so we can compare it to the first version. It looks more like the photo. That's, do you remember the little ones we were doing earlier that I had 3 of? That's a big version of that. Oh, and the tall green one too. This is a big version of that tall green one, with a little more breathing space here and a little less green on the sides. But and that needs to be defined up. The house needs to be defined up a bit and a bit of accent on it, but it's pretty good. A bit of white accent glinting off somewhere. But I like it. Oh, pull those closer yet again. All right, this I call 2 houses, or 2 houses. And it's simple. I finished it really quick, and I'm kind of ashamed of how quick it was. In fact, I was painting it, and I got to a certain point, and I stopped and stepped back. I said, well, what am I supposed to do now? Go to another canvas? So after this, I tried to take a little more care to make sure I was planning something that was going to take... See, it's not great. In fact, this is a candidate for being painted over and repainted. It really is. Or to take a bunch of effort, put a bunch of effort into making it better. It's not great. A giant version of the tree. Just the tree. That one's okay. The shadow bends a little bit. Just a little, but it's enough to annoy me. And it should come out maybe just like yeah. It's very unfortunate, but other than that, pretty good. I don't know why it doesn't work perfect. Maybe this tree, maybe up here a little Maybe another branch here. I'm not super pleased with it. People are fond of this one. And, you know, it's cute. People are very fond of this. People like it. I mean, this flower stuff here in the front came out pretty good, I have to admit, for saying it. You know, I was just like, oh God, what am I going to do? I'm just trying to cover up this area of the canvas. And also the tree up to the top. People aren't too worried about it. Notice that everything is, the whole tree is reaching like that way. And it's just the direction of my brush strokes when I was doing it. Do-do-do, 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 do-do-do. And so maybe I shouldn't tell anybody about that, but there it is. It's true. What do we got in there? I got a bunch of white spots I put in the tree. It's all right. It tells the story of light coming through the tree, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Okay. It's all right. People like it. Nobody's bought it. People like it. I was looking through a hedge, waiting for a comedy show to start, waiting for a thing, and that's what I was looking at, so I drew it. And this doesn't do it justice. I did a couple little watercolors of it that were better than this, and I liked the watercolor so much, I said, now I'm going to do a big painting of it. So I did this, and it's not as good as the watercolors, and I think I know why. I think it's this black around the edge that's stopping us from believing what's going on. I think the black needs to go away. It needs to be green over blue. There should not be black. That's what I'm thinking. All right, this one I was just throwing color around and just wanted to use my light pale green that I had. So this is not a very exciting one, and someday if I need a canvas, I will cover this over and reuse it. But it's somewhat pleasing to look at. I like the strong greens. I'm just always a fan of strong greens. All right, this is the rail. That's the original. This is like a sketch. This is the original sketch of it. Just saying, what's it gonna look like when this picture? What if I paint this picture? What's it gonna look like? So I did that, and I said, good. I like it. I like the rail. I like that rail down there. So that's when I did this one. That's what that's from, this one here. Okay. Now a monochrome, just that color of brown in differing amounts. But just that one color brown there over a white canvas. No fuss. All right, here's the girls' favorite. Girls all love this one. Just a cherry blossom forest, right? Mount Fuji. And it's got a flying dot of red paint ended up there. That's unfortunate. I have to touch that over with some pink or white. And the girls like this. I do small and big versions, and the small ones sell quick. And I sold a big version a few days ago. The small ones sell quick. I've sold 3 of them. Rockwell Park from the front, standing next to the flagpole. See the flagpole going up yonder, hidden in that grass. I was happy with the way I hid the flagpole in that grass. One day, wondering what to paint, I painted my easel, which was sitting on a concrete thing with some painting set up behind it there. Simple little composition. Fun little composition. Oh, it's so abstract. just drying. It's just a canvas that's drying. Okay, this one lacks something. I don't know what it lacks. This was one of my first paintings I did at the park. It lacks things here, and I think it lacks light. We need to be able to see somewhere, and we need something over here, and it's just not great. Or, you know what? A couple of people would do it, you know, and a little more definition to the pathway. But that's a painting that could do something and could go somewhere. I don't understand. Okay, my shadow goes that way and the light's coming from that way. So that's terrible. Good hell. Okay, some guy comes and says, could you paint my dog? I said, okay. Now the ears went a little too high. Yeah, the ears went a little too high. His snout might even be a bit too big. Maybe I can adjust both of those by running one white line over along top of his brow and making his brow bigger. But came out okay. He was leaning against his owner's hand. His owner's hand was pushing him here, and his fur was ruffled up there. So that's why you see him sort of leaning that way. Which I didn't mean to capture, you know, I was just painting from a photograph and came out. All right, this is a cute little country store. What has gone wrong with that barn? I do not know why that barn is so bad. It's because this should be hidden over behind that ledge a bit, huh? That looks too wonky. And this should go straight back. It drops down. Should not drop down here because this should be getting closer to this. They should pinch together a little bit there. So it's quite wonky, and that tractor needs help. Oh, I'm better at tractors than that. I'm better at tractors than that. And the little store there has a refrigerator at the side, which could give us a lot of information, but it's just not done right. It's just not done right. So that just shows you that you can't just say, oh, whatever, I'll just slop it together. You've got to take care of your details. Now, see the tree back there? I didn't slop the tree together, or that tree. The trees are doing okay. So you just need to take care and be careful with things. That sign that says Farm Fresh, that's pretty cute. It's not really good. It's not really that good. All right, so that's a very folksy painting. See, I do those, and then I say to myself, you got to stick to fewer colors, 2 colors, 3 colors, and get a reasonable palette instead of trying to do 8 colors in a painting. All right, now see, there's a marriage of colors. Now his tongue is ridiculous, and the shapes aren't really married. They're sort of lumped next to each other. He looks like he's built out of Play-Doh, particularly if you see it. There you go, you can see a little bit better. Pretty rough. If I could fix the tongue and then glaze over all of it with something to marry everything, I think that this could be pretty good. The tongue, I don't know how to fix it. Just maybe smaller overall, I think, and a little bit of contour and shape. I don't know how to do that. How do you add contour and shape? All right, this is local baseball game. Finished that in about 45 minutes or so, and I was hoping I'd sell it to somebody there at the baseball game. I sold a couple paintings, but not this one. And it's just blue and gray. Well, it's actually black and Rain's gray. Rain's gray as blue. And I like it. The announcer's box thing here makes it, right? That's the thing. And if that had a little bit more pizzazz and style, I think it would help. There needs to be, I feel like there needs to be something here for us to see. And that there's not. There's nothing. There's nothing there. Okay. These, all right. Those big ones there. Those there. So we're like 80% of the way through. Again, I'm not showing these so that they're on record as masterful or something. I'm showing them so that they're on record so I can look back and see them someday. Now, this is a triptych, so it's going to be, well, this first one's not a triptych. This is an early copy, or this is an oil painting. That's a Bob Ross attempt of some kind. Just being lazy and trying to do a Bob Ross in oil. So it's not very good. But now it's out of the way. All right, this is a triptych. This is the church that I showed you earlier. It's got this panel over here. And another panel over here. So those are just vegetation. They're mirrors of each other virtually. And in the middle is this church. And I just liked that painting or picture I saw of that church at that up angle looking up at it. Blank canvas. Ooh, it's so pretty. This is you saw a black and white version earlier. This is a colored version of whatever that was. Just like Italian, whatever. Who knows? And this is another one where I just start out saying I'm going to have some mountains in the background. And then I'll go from there. And I end up sort of with just not really much. It's cute, but it's not much. This is painting of the stuff inside of my coffee table. Just really loud colors, sort of rude and vibrant. This is another triptych. This is, you can go online and do this. There's like tutorials to step you through all the colors and each step of the way. 3-paneled set. Very neat. A lot of people like it. Nobody's bought them. This I did on a rainy day, and my paints were not really working very well, so I needed to go back and finish it, and I never have. And it is going to be painted over. It's just not great. It was just dull colors I used because everything looked dull, and I don't know how to save it. It needs too much work to be saved. It's too sloppy. Like the paint was so wet, it wouldn't dry at all. I'd put some paint on, wait a while, go back and start again to do more, and it was still wet. It was a rainy day at the park. I wasn't painting in the rain. I was under the edge of a ledge, All right, those ones are unfinished. Okay, some big ones here. This is a coal-fired power plant in New York City, 1940. And the background is New York City, and that big red building in the foreground is a coal-fired power plant. Done from a photograph. Not very well done, it's just garbage. This is a huge version of a haystack. Again, I sacrificed the background so that I could just get to painting the hay. And the result is not a lot to bite into. Not a very busy painting, and not even a very interesting painting. This is a Thomas Moran, which is going to be pretty good once I get the final coat of oil on it, I think. Some strong sunshine shining on that rock in the top, but those two aren't married together, and they need a similar color to go over them to show that they're the same rock just being shone on by the sun. Once I get that on there, it'll look good. This was supposed to have more in the foreground, but it looked good. It looked really good, so I just stopped. Don't think I even signed it. Yeah, I did. All right. Gee, we're down to the last three. Good. Well, I've got a whole box of watercolors. I think I'll do another video some other time for my watercolors because it double the length of our video. Okay, that is the local park. Just a scene at the local park. The pavilion and some trees. This is a big canvas. All right, and then this one you've seen before. My standard black fence, and gee, these are big. There we go. All right, there we go. Sufficient. Last but not least, not last, I'll show you one or two more. That can't even fit in the damn screen. There we go. There we go. Right. Seattle. On the reverse side, just a pickup truck by a fence. Ridiculously large back end of that pickup truck. Brooklyn Bridge. These are done on styrofoam. Just black. That was pretty bad. Black on styrofoam. Okay, well, thank you for joining me. If you've joined me, oh God, I got some comments over here. I've been painting for 14 months. I bought my first paint sets on 7/11/2018. Shades of green, yes. That would be MrCropper's story, MrCropper's life story of painting, called Shades of Green. Did I get the Google Hangout issue sorted out? No. And in fact, I'm not even able to screen share anymore on these things here. So Google has really taken tools away. Why would they take away these tools? You know, what is progress, moving forward and doing more things and things getting better? Why at the hands of Google do we not have progress? Why are we retrogressing at the hands of the tech company of the world? Very strange. So no, Google Hangouts is wrecked. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Wow, we're 1 hour long on Artsy Fartsy. Oh boy. Well, the record has been made. I was kind of upset at the park. I would sell a painting once in a while that I didn't even take a picture of. And so now there are these paintings hanging around in people's houses that I can't even remember some of them. One guy bought a big painting, $20 painting. It was not big. And anyways, and he carried it away, and I thought I knew which one he took. And then later when I was packing up, I still had that painting. So I don't even know to this day, I don't know which painting he took, and I don't know what it looked like. So that's why I've made this video. Now I have a record of all of my extant paintings. I'm sure I've missed half a dozen or more somewhere. Oh, and all my watercolors too. So I'll do another video of those sometime to have a record. All right, thanks for coming on, guys. I apologize if you want some philosophy. This is pretty light on philosophy.